welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year's! Today we're actually going to talk through some resolutions and just some highlights and stuff. I understand that not everyone does New Year's resolutions, but I like the idea of kind of pressing the reset button, and I like just having goals and things to work towards. Now, within that, especially with a chronic disorder, you've got to be able to give yourself grace. So I definitely allow myself grace within these resolutions, but I have some goals I want to share with you, and I'm hoping you'll share back with me. So first off, I want to just share a couple of highlights. Highlights for me were definitely camping and hiking with my friend Patricia. Lots of fun, really pushing myself outside of my comfort zone to be camping and like in my own tent. That was a big deal for me. I'm just really excited about that. That was a lot of fun, and I'm really glad that we did that. I'm looking forward to future trips. Starting this vlog was a big highlight for me. One of my resolutions for the new year is actually to get my blog going. That was actually where I started. It's being worked on, though we haven't come up with the final product yet. But it should hopefully be launching in January, so fingers crossed. Lowlights were definitely COVID and not being able to go home to see my family for Christmas. At the same time, I got to spend more time with Java. She's right here, you can't see her. Let's see. There she is. Baby. So that was definitely, it was a highlight just to be able to spend time with her. She is 15 years old and really starting to show her age. So I'm not sure how much time I have left with her. And I rescued her when she was about 6 months old. So yeah, let's not talk about it. So some of you have heard me allude to this before, and if you follow me on Instagram, you'll hear me talk about this more. But 2 years ago, this big trauma happened in my family's life. And we found out that we had been lied to and manipulated by someone that we loved and trusted, and it was a big thing. And as an empath, it affected me in a huge way, to the point where I ended up in the hospital twice that first week, thinking I was having a heart attack. And to be completely honest, within a couple of weeks, I almost, trigger warning, I almost took my own life. It was a very difficult time. It still is a difficult time. I'm still in therapy working my way through it, and it's tricky, and it's probably going to be a lifetime of work. That is the cause of my PTSD, and I'm a work in progress. So for the past 2 years, my whole goal was just survival. I just needed to survive, whatever that looked like. And I've always had issues with eating, with food. I've always struggled with food, either eating not enough. Actually, a big problem for me is that I don't eat enough, and then my body holds on to everything that I eat, or binging. And this is something that I want to tackle in 2021. I know it's going to be a lifelong process, but it's something that I really want to work towards. Now, I'm not coming at you saying, lose weight, like you need to lose weight, but I have gained 70 plus pounds in the past 2 years, and I just don't feel like myself anymore. This isn't me, this isn't the body that I know, and I need to change that for myself. It's more for comfort than for anything, but also it's to help fibromyalgia. As I say, most of my pain is in my legs, and I know that if I weigh less, I'm gonna have less strain on my legs. So this is one of my big challenges. Within that, there are some foods that I'm just not supposed to eat, and I indulge in fairly regularly. Not so good. So I'm going to start cutting them out one a month, and I'll keep you guys updated on that one. I think the first one going into January is going to be dairy, and that's going to be so hard for me. I love cheese, but I know I can get vegan cheeses, but they're not the same. They're not the same. And anyone who says they're the same is a dirty liar. Yeah. So that's one of the big things for me. And I'm gonna use this a little bit as accountability. So I will check in with you guys every month and just let you know, maybe at the end of one of my videos, just let you know how I'm doing with that journey. So I have a specific goal in my mind that I want to get to by the end of next year safely. I don't want to lose all 70 pounds within the year. That's probably not safe, but I want to just see where I can get to in a healthy way. I'm a big reader, but sometimes I get a little into a bit of a funk, and I just would like to read 25 books this year. I really like historical fiction, so if you have any suggestions, I've already read a ton of Philippa Gregory and Santa Montefiore. If you have any suggestions, hit me up and let me know. I'd love to know what you guys are reading. For the purpose of this channel and to help you guys out and to potentially help myself out, I want to try 12 different things that could potentially help with fibro. So if you have any suggestions, let me know, because I'd love to try them out every month and just add them into my daily routine and just see if they help me out. I have 2 mountains that I really want to hike when I visit my parents in the summer. Also, I was supposed to hike a rim to rim of the Grand Canyon with one of my best friends last summer. Obviously, it didn't happen because we couldn't get into the States and it wasn't safe. If we feel safe enough to do it this year, we will. If not, we'll put it off for another year, but hopefully we'll be able to do that. Within that, and with kind of some of my other goals in mind, I have decided to do a challenge that I actually did this year as well, and I really, really love it. It's a Canadian-based challenge, and it's basically walking or running 1,000 kilometers within the year. You can do a smaller amount, you can do 500K, you can do 1,000K, or you can do the year amount, so you can do 2,021 kilometers. You buy your own medal, of course, but it's a fundraiser for the Terry Fox Foundation, and it's a really great thing, and it really helped me get out more and to be a lot more active this year. So I actually just completed it a couple of days ago. I highly recommend it. I'll link to the website below, but it's a great cause. And if you want encouragement within your journey, there's a Facebook group that's included in it. And you know what? A lot of people don't make it, but a lot of people do. And it's just a really great group of people, really kind and inviting, super encouraging. And if you want that extra support, that extra push, I highly recommend signing up. One thing that I know really helps my body, but I am not great at, is making sure that I'm drinking enough water. You're technically supposed to drink half of your weight in ounces. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you should be drinking 100 ounces of water. I'm not great at it. That's always a constant goal that I have, is just getting enough water in. And then my big goal, now notice I'm saying goal and not resolution. These are all goals, and goals can flex and they can change. But this is something that really helps me push forward and move forward and helps me keep my eye on the prize. So one of my big goals is to run a half marathon. Now that might be walking a half marathon, but I'd love to be able to train to be able to do that by October. The reason why I set goals like this is because back when all of the stuff happened 2 years ago, within a couple of weeks, my friend and I decided we were gonna hike the West Coast Trail, and that kept me moving forward. That goal of being able to get out and hike that trail was a huge deal. It's a through hike. It took us 8 days. It's on Vancouver Island. Highly recommend checking it out. It's amazing, incredibly challenging, but it was life-changing for me. And that was the turning point in kind of my mental health recovery, and a turning point for me. I came off of that trail, and friends that had seen me before going onto the trail said, "Well, you're glowing, like you look so much happier." And it was a huge, huge thing for me to be able to come off that trail and say, hey, I just did that. That was amazing. And just one of the hardest things I've ever done. It was life-changing for me, and it really helped me to start taking the first steps towards being okay after the trauma. I, of course, have some business goals, let's call them. I'd love to get 1,000 followers on YouTube. I appreciate every single one of you, and I have a big goal of getting 5,000 followers on Instagram. I actually post a lot more on Instagram. I post pretty much daily. If you want to see some of my hiking photos, or you want daily encouragement for workouts, or just to see kind of what a day in the life is like for Dina, I post a lot on there, and I share a lot of stories throughout the day. So that's something you can check out if you want. Those are my goals. I'm also moving in January, so that's a big deal for me. I'm gonna be living by myself for the first time in like 15 years, which is crazy and exciting. Another big goal for me is just to get back into singing again, which I put on pause 2 years ago. So that's what I've got going on for the new year. I'd love to know what your goals are. Maybe it's to get out of bed every day. That can be a really hard thing for someone with fibromyalgia. Maybe it's to shower every day. Maybe it's to walk around the block every day. Start with small things that you know you can achieve, and make those consistent. You have to crawl before you can walk, and you have to walk before you can run. So really set yourself achievable goals, and then maybe give yourself like one big goal that you're like, this is what I'm working towards. I have this big goal of climbing Mount Kilimanjaro within the next 10 years, and it's a huge goal, especially with pain. Every walk I take, every workout I do, I know that I'm training towards that end goal. So I think it's really important to have goals that are immediately achievable, but also goals that you're always working towards in the future. Let me know if you have any questions. I want to support you through your journey and through your goals. So I'd love it if you engage, post below. Please remember to like and subscribe, and let me know if you have anything that you'd like me to check out, any products or anything that you've heard, any like fibro health myths that you've heard, and I'll check them out and I'll help you kind of figure things out. Okay, make it a great day. Happy New Year!